Hi friends, I'm the Obsidian Noob and welcome to episode 2 of the Stranded Noob Survival Challenge. If you're new here, this is a survival challenge on just a single island and the areas immediately below and around it to see how far through the game we can get. And thank you to the comment that we had on episode 1, that helped shape this video. So make sure you like, subscribe to the channel for more of these episodes and cool stuff like builds and hints and tips. Before we jump straight in, we have one really important ceremony to conduct. Sadly, at the end of episode 1, we had to pay remembrance to Gary, our Iron Golem Island Protector, who sadly didn't make it past the first night. So I wanted to build something nice for him, a little area of remembrance, something that would always remain on the island. And you never know, one day, if we find enough iron, we might be able to resurrect him or create a brother. So Gary, our protector and friend, yeah, this is for you, even though you only made it to day 1. But thank you for your help. And yeah, sorry Gary, I had to borrow part of you to make the shield, but hey, I can carry you with me at all times. And we'll leave your remains there. And look, I even broke up part of the house to make you a lovely pot, and I'll put one of your flowers in as well. So Gary, thank you for everything you did in the first night, and we'll remember you always on this survival challenge. Now, into the episode. So, day number 3 comes around, and the priority for today, ahead of these phantoms in 2 nights' time, was to get ourselves a bed made up. So, the first thing was to check how much string we had. If you don't know, you probably already do, but if you don't know, then 4 string makes 1 block of wool. So, in the absence of any sheep, that's the priority. And luckily, the nighttime was really generous to me, leaving me 3 spiders to kill underneath this tree, where I don't know why Chewie is hanging out with one of the island freeloaders. But of course, yeah, the comments said we've got to get one of them and tame one, so I will do that later on in the episode. So yeah, over to that, and then we went over to make a bed. Probably best to stick with white here to save the flowers that are around the island. And then going to put it into this house. Out the window, I thought I had a glimpse of Gary. I thought Gary was back, but it wasn't. It was a roaming trader. So back into the house to place the bed and set up a spawn point for in case the inevitable happens and we get killed. Right, over to the crop farm then. So one of the things that I spotted was that this was taking forever to grow. Now I read a while ago that if you alternate the crops between one type and another type, it apparently makes things grow quicker. So I wanted to test that out by going seeds and then potatoes and then back to seeds and then back to potatoes to see if that grew up any quicker. And then of course the other thing that we needed to do in this episode was initially get the coal, so we had some, get out of the way Chewie, so that we had some room and some fuel. So it was a quick run over to where the marker was to break up these bits of stone and the bits of dirt to get to these coal deposits from episode 1. So that was these ones down here. And I'll speed this up for you so you haven't got to sit watching all the coal mining, because that's boring, right? There we go. So we cleared all of the coal. Then guess what? A sheep spawned, as if by magic. So I wanted to get this guy in. Moody, get out of the way. Get. Oh, fuck. He's gone. Come on, just come in. Oh, now the Chewies are getting involved. Right, guys, move out the way. Moody, get back. Oh my god. Right, okay. Come round here. Let's try. Oh, he's back again. Stupid cow. Right, let's go round this side. I'll try and get him in. Right. Chicken will just have to go out. It's going to be, what's his name? Going to be Hen Duo now rather than Solo. Right, that's it. Right, I've had enough. Get out of the way. You're winding me up. All of you, you can all just die. The sheep is the most important one. And breathe. I needed to go and have a coffee for a moment and calm myself down after those stupid mobs wouldn't move out the way. But I figured that by expanding the island out and continuing and then building a better enclosure, actually there was more mob spawning. And talking of mob spawning, I looked over, and after I got a second sheep arrive, I then spotted a witch. So with a few well placed arrows, I put that witch down nice and quickly. Then I started to feel really bad, because when I collected the loot, she'd only bought me sugar for my coffee. Sorry, witch. The next task was just to have a bit of fun with these endermen. They were really annoying me hanging around the island. Here's a good tip: if ever you're fighting endermen and you're on an island like this, just hide in the water, because you can just smash them and they can't really touch you. I think one of them did get a good hit on me. But yeah, keep ducking in and out, hit him, jump in the water again. Really straightforward. And we got an ender pearl as well, so that could come in useful later on in the game. So going back to the comments, Astro made the comment about let's get a cat sorted out, so I decided to get a fishing rod and start with that. And because you left an emoji of an orange one, I had to then chase around the most annoying and only orangey yellow cat on the whole island, who, yes, freeloaded me out of 6 fish and really wasn't having it until eventually we switched over to the salmons, and that was the one that he liked. Well, I called it he anyway. In the absence of anyone providing any kind of names, we're going to call this guy Brian.
How do you do, Brian?
So with nighttime fast approaching, I decided to put Brian off to work. If you bring a cat in and you have them sitting up like that and you go to bed, they'll bring you a gift in the morning, and that was going to be the first bit of work for him while we plan what happens next. So day 6, and we're coming towards the end of the first week in game and the first week of this challenge, and one thing I noticed is that the time seems to be flying past, and what I wanted to do was get some kind of structure to this challenge to make sure things stayed on track. So I started to build an objective wall. One of the key things with the objective wall that would really help me out is if you guys provided some comments or suggestions about what else you'd like to see in this adventure survival mode. So what I did here was started to build everything up, get it all ready to go, and we're going to put some signs up and agree some objectives. I've noticed that time is starting to go quite fast, so as we end off this first week in game, I want to try to get a bit more structure so that by next week's video, episode 3, I can give you a better roundup of where we are. So we got some objectives here. I'll create some today. They're not hard and fast. If we decide that from the comments you have other objectives, then we'll update some. So I think the first one is going to be to go and mine the coal that's underwater, and with that we're going to need to build like a little base or a little hut around it. Now if you haven't seen my underwater survival guide, go and check that out. That's going to be the sort of method that I'm going to follow for this one. So let's move to something else then. Let's see. I think maybe with this one we'll go for finding iron, and potentially if we can we'll try and find some lava as well. I want to build a stone farm that's automated so that we've got some stone coming in. It won't be automated at the start, but it will just give us an endless supply to get started without busting this up. And then I think the next one that's going to be really important is going to be to tunnel down and see if we can find some redstone, because we need to build some automated farms, and for that we're going to need the redstone and also probably a lot of iron, so hopefully we'll find some as we go down. So moving on then, objective number 4 is going to be, let's see, we got the iron, we got the lava, we've got tunneling down, we got the underwater stuff. What else needs to happen? Well, I think we need to keep expanding the island, don't we? We need to keep making it bigger, so we'll put down expand the island. And with that we can build some like structures, and potentially I think the other one is going to be storage areas, because we need some space for building some things, and then we're going to need to get somewhere. Yeah, we haven't really got anywhere to sort of store stuff at the moment, have we? So we need to get some sort of like warehouse or some sort of storage solutions, and at least that way we can start building out the materials that we've got, and then start working on some bigger builds. Ideally I'd love to have like some big things on the island that would look quite nice and make it stand out from just being a bog standard survival island. But for the first week this has been pretty good going. And then I think the logical thing at the end is going to be to find diamonds, isn't it? And to build that up. So we're going to want some obsidian as well, so we can get over to the nether and get that running. So finally then, what should we put for this one? Let's go for armor upgrades and weapon upgrades. But yeah, that's the end of the first week in game. Episode 3 is going to be a bit of underwater survival, I think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep updated on this series. Drop some comments in for some interaction, and I'll see you with Brian in episode 3.